Hey everybody, welcome back to Chicago Reacts. My name is Michael. I'm an actor here in the city of Chicago, and I'm joined by the always brilliant
Frodo Baggins, Zach, also an actor here in Chicago. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna hang out with Elmo. Trigger me, Elmo.
Yes.
The world's first race detecting toy by Michael Reeves. Michael Reeves has been doing well on the channel, and it's our turn to react, Mike.
Yes.
We are excited. This video in particular was suggested by VVV Mark.
Yes.
So thank you for the suggestion. I know on our end, I've been able to watch some of our team react to some of the Michael Reeves videos, and it's been awesome. So I'm happy that we finally get to do it.
Yeah. I'm ready to get triggered, I guess. Let's
trigger me, Elmo. Trigger me.
Let's get triggered.
All right.
Facial detection? Nah, I prefer racial detection. So there's been a lot of racial controversy in the news recently. People are saying things they're just not supposed to say. Look at this, look what I 3D printed, it's a hard R. Oh, look at that, drop the hard R. Anyways, the problem is that kids aren't learning about racial sensitivity at a young age. Now, clearly the issue lies squarely with the parents, but really who can blame them? You know, I mean, I forget I'm half Filipino most of the fucking time. How's Bob Smith supposed to teach little Timmy about different ethnicities, you know? And that's why I came up with the idea for a revolutionary new toy based entirely on race called Trigger Me Elmo. What the fuck? So Trigger Me Elmo is gonna be two major parts. It's gonna be the animatronics inside of Elmo, because it's not nearly terrifying enough if it doesn't move. And the software that's going to detect your
Right.
Okay. Have you ever been to like a museum with animatronics? Or I went to Mackinac City or Mackinac Island in northern Michigan at the base there, and they have some like old animatronics. At least when I went, this was a couple years ago, so they were the freakiest things. Because you'd like walk into the room and they'd like turn on and I don't know, there's like all this
That
like
is...
sound, like the voice was clearly coming from somewhere else, and it was super freaky. So yeah, I'm glad that he's taking the time to make sure that this Trigger Me Elmo is as creepy as those animatronics.
Yeah, when I think of animatronics, I think of good old Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Classic animatronics situation there. And then I feel like animatronic too, like people think of
Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, because we were all traumatized by Chuck E. Cheese, so that's what led to that.
All right.
Oh yeah, so what Trigger Me Elmo is gonna do is detect your race using computer vision APIs, and then say things to you based on what ethnicity he thinks you are. Let's start with the robotics that we need to turn Elmo into the spawn of Satan. Now this is the part of the project where I realized I might have messed up, because my rough plans of the animatronics became progressively more disturbing, and eventually bordered on devil worship. So here's a 3D model for the mouth animatronics. This is pretty cool. Here's how the jaw moves. Ooh, can't do that in real life. And then this boring piece of shit is the 3D model of the torso animatronics. I'll get those parts printed out, but while they're printing, let me show you where we're gonna be putting everything. It's just the hollowed out corpse of a normal Tickle Me Elmo doll. I took the stuffing out so that the robotics would fit nicely inside of it. And I know what you're thinking, Michael, that is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Don't worry, it's gonna get a lot worse. So these are what the fully assembled animatronics look like, somehow even more disturbing in person. The mouth mechanism's pretty self-explanatory. It gets screwed onto the floor and roof of Elmo's mouth. Then the servo is sent signals from my computer, and it opens it up to simulate talking. Here's what it looks like just constantly moving. Obviously, we're gonna use future code to make it actually simulate talking. Gross. This is the arm mechanism. It works when the servo turns this wheel, which is attached to fishing line, which is attached to the arms, and it makes them move up. So yeah, that's creepy. And here's what this one looks like constantly running. Don't worry, I'm already disgusted at myself. Now let's just slap it.
Come on, Mike. Come on, Michael.
I just wanna hug.
Stop it right now.
Hug me, Zach. Come and hug me.
God is dead, Michael.
All right, so the arms are in. Let's do the mouth. I told you.
Okay, only because.
Well, I was just gonna say, watching Elmo just be defiled by that is destroying me on the inside. Like,
No, don't do that to Elmo. What are you gonna do with that drill to Elmo? No. Yeah, I love how, like, I feel like this would never exist without the internet and YouTube, and I'm happy about it because this is insane, but I love it.
you haven't even seen him in action yet.
I know, and things just look like they're about to get weird. So.
It's gonna get worse. So if I plug this in and just constantly run, it should look like.
Oh, that's pretty good, actually.
Great editing, Chase. There.
Now, unfortunately,
That's
creepy
great.
does
That's
not
great.
equal racist. Can't wait to see that on a shirt. Unfortunately, creepy does not equal racist, said by Michael Reeves, aka Filipino Hitler. So in order to turn Satan Fetus into full-fledged Trigger Me Elmo, we're gonna need some code. We're actually gonna need a fuck ton of code. Spoiler alert, I made it way harder to build than it needed to be. But Michael, I hear you ask, why was it so hard to make? Well, the answer is, hey fucker,
transition,
sounds like you were
Michael.
about to start saying nerd shit, and that's not cool. So if any of you guys aren't into that, you better skip this part of the video. Either that, or shut the fuck up and don't talk about it in my goddamn comments section. Remember to stay cool, stay in school, and smoke crack.
We're here for the nerd shit, though, so we're gonna watch it.
They're kind of just a lot of moving parts in general. I did make a lot of extra work for myself, though. One thing in particular, I'm gonna make the excuse that I spent the extra time to make the code run faster, but it's actually because I'm a dipshit. While I was looking through the documentation of the API that I'm using, I spent all of like 5 minutes looking at it, and I thought that the API would only use images that were already on the internet. So what I had to do, here, I'll show you. My computer. I had to also create a completely separate web server here. Web server. And then here I'll represent the API here. API. So I thought that I needed to get the images from my computer onto the internet before the API could access them. So my system takes images from my computer and it uploads them to my web server, which publicly hosts them on the open internet. My web server then returns the custom URL of the image hosted on the internet on this server. It takes it and it sends it up to the API. The API then has access to this URL, so the API asks my web server for the image hosted on it. Then the API takes that image, processes out different racial attributes, and then returns those racial attributes data to my computer where I can process them for Trigger Me Elmo. And so we can represent Elmo here.
Tickle me, trigger me, Elmo.
That. So based on the race information, the computer
Oh, we're good.
Tickle and trigger me, Elmo.
This entire part of the project would be really stupid if it weren't just coincidentally more effective speed-wise. Because the only other alternative is converting the picture on my computer to a base 64 encoded string. That's basically turning the picture into just letters and numbers, and then uploading that to the API in a JSON file, which is a pretty inefficient way of doing things. So I'm pretty sure this solution is the fastest, but for the sake of the video, we're gonna say it's 100% the fastest. So let's see what that software looks like without.
Actually, just super cool that he included that in there. Just to get a basic understanding of actually what's going on.
Because I feel like, as weird as this is, that's also sort of the point of it, is like
Right.
learning how this stuff is done. How would you program a Trigger Me Elmo?
Yeah.
You know, and aggregating all those photos and how the API processes it. It's interesting.
It's neat stuff. And
And
I feel like he does it in a way too that like a general audience, a general member of the YouTube audience could process at least somewhat what he's talking about. So that's cool. Good on you, Michael. Thank you for doing that.
The boring explanation garbage. Now you might notice I borrowed some of the UI elements from the Squirtboy 9000, but pretty much everything else is different. So when I start it up, it's gonna start detecting my face, and when it reaches a certain threshold, it's gonna send it up to the server, and there we go. Wow, it knows I'm Asian. Didn't need an API to tell you that. So here I'm going to let it run again, and this time I'm going to draw your attention to the upper
I
left
don't
corner.
think.
You can see this nice little readout I put in. See, what the API does is it returns race confidence values based on what it thinks you are. So obviously, we're going to take the highest race confidence value, and then that's how Elmo knows what race you are. And obviously, we're not going to use my laptop webcam because that's not nearly creepy enough. So what I did was slip some camera guts into Elmo's right eye, and so the detection will work like
This is the creepiest Elmo ever.
yeah. So we can actually do the speech synthesis in real time instead of determining what the movement should be ahead of time. We can do this by just listening on whatever audio stream is playing on the computer at any given time, and then moving the mouth based on the decibel levels on that audio stream. God damn, that was a boring sentence. Let me just show you. Okay, I got the speech synthesis code running on my computer. I put a Bluetooth speaker in Elmo's ass, just because. So when I play any audio on my computer, facial detection? Nah, I prefer racial detection. Obviously, it doesn't just do
that works so
talking,
well.
But you know what? I think it's 100 times better anyway. So all we gotta do is come up with voice lines for Elmo to say. Shouldn't be too hard, right?
Wrong.
That means he could also sing along to any
I'm
song.
not even gonna try.
Technically, yeah.
That's amazing.
Crowdsourcing is the answer, just like
Sing
all
along
things.
with me, Elmo.
And tweet! Now all I gotta do is wait for you wonderful people to give me some quality voice lines. Crowdsourcing was not the solution. I'm gonna shoot your dad in the mouth. But you guys did point me to Die Trickster, another YouTuber who does a mean Elmo impression, and more importantly, doesn't mind a little satirical racism. Because damn it, if Trigger Me Elmo is gonna teach the youth to be more racially tolerant, he's gonna have to show them what not to do. So I asked him to read off some voice lines that make fun of Asian and white people. Why? Because I'm Asian and white. And if I've learned one thing from being on YouTube all these years, it's that if you are a race, you are allowed to endlessly mock that race, regardless of if you're disconnected from the culture, regardless of if it's mean-spirited. That's the
know who that is on the
YouTube way.
right?
I actually
Thank you
did
very much.
not.
Thanks for
I
coming.
did miss
Thank
that
you.
reference.
Thank you. I may have also asked him to do
Maybe I
lines for
should-
the other races too.
Let us know in the comment
So
section
I got
so
the
we
lines
can
referenced by the code,
be a
and that
little
means we're
more
done.
aware
Trigger Me
about-
Elmo is available in stores across the United States today. Wow, thanks, Dad. I've always wanted a Tickle Me Elmo. Well, something that's actually a Trigger Me Elmo. Your teacher called and you dropped the N-bomb like 6 times in class yesterday. We gotta teach you some racial tolerance. That's no way for a 3rd grader to act. Introducing Trigger Me Elmo, the hottest new toy of the summer. Setting up Trigger Me Elmo is an absolute breeze. All you need is one USB cable. Oh, 2 USB cables. A fucking power cord, I guess. 2 custom programs, your own private server, and an enterprise-grade web API. Trigger Me Elmo, because God has been dead for a very long time. This is the world's very first fully functioning Trigger Me Elmo. I am so goddamn excited to finally see it work. So all I gotta do is stare into his beady little chicken eyes. And...
Elmo's a puppet, not a dog. Please don't try to eat me.
it is everything I ever wanted.
That is.
Oh, in Asian. Elmo remembers you from the assembly line.
This might be the best thing I've ever made in my entire life. I can't stop playing with it.
It's the
This is the
voice
best
for
thing in
me
the
too.
Yeah.
People like you remind Elmo of Cookie Monster. That was me. Yeah.
And that was perfect because I'm half white and half Asian, so it should get it right like half the time. Wait, no, it should get either one half the time. That's what I meant. Oh, if you didn't know, I'm back home on
Yeah,
vacation.
Michael,
I can probably find one of my parents. Hey, Mom, sit down in the chair, please, Mom. Thank you, Mom. This isn't proof that I'm just Asian. All right, just look into the beady little eyes.
Oh.
Michael's mouth.
Yeah.
I wonder how she's
I've
gonna
been
react.
playing with Elmo. iPhones aren't gonna make themselves.
What did you say?
It says the iPhones aren't gonna make themselves.
Oh my god.
Whatever.
Okay, goodbye, Mom. You can go.
Bye.
She's
Okay,
like-
bye,
she's like-
Mom.
All over my black and Hispanic friends. I don't have any friends. Okay, a couple of my favorite actors. Let's do John Leguizamo first. Let me just line the face up.
It looks like Timothy Olyphant.
Elmo respects all individuals of Hispanic lineage and wish you a wonderful day.
So the thing is, I'm not Hispanic, so, you know. Now, Terry Crews, rest in peace, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Boy, I sure hope I don't get demonetized for the racist shit Elmo's about to say.
I respect and admire your rich culture, and will now narrate a documentary on African American trials and tribulations. Chapter 1.
Guess which race I'm not? I think that covered Trigger Me Elmo pretty well in depth. I can show you guys a little bit. Fuck. God, sorry about that, guys.
Oh no.
I was having this crazy dream that this video was still somehow monetized. I don't know where it came from. Completely unrelated to that. Have you ever seen someone hack into a racist animatronic Elmo doll to show people on the internet how a VPN works? Well, guess what? Because today's sponsor is NordVPN. You may have heard of them from fucking everywhere. And that's actually
We're
part
not
of the reason why I'm so excited.
Yeah,
VPN.
but that's a good way
Because I see their ads all
to.
the time, and they tell you about
Yeah,
how
because you
Nord
don't
is
want
a
someone
VPN
hacking
but
into
no one
your
shows you how it's
racist puppet that you
So
made.
let's
Right.
hack.
Could not think of a worse
Yeah.
situation to have happen.
Going for it with the sponsored section though. Really, it's really, yeah, it's really interesting. I don't know. I guess I'm still processing because I'm obviously not coming up with anything to say.
Still
But
reaching
Hey,
yeah.
your
how's it going? I
API.
hope everyone's having fun because I'm about to make it so you never feel comfortable in public ever again. So let's
All
just
right.
pretend we're in a Starbucks and this is their router. And this is going to be your regular computer connected to the Starbucks wireless. You could be doing whatever, reading email, watching porn, whatever you do at Starbucks. But then this is the computer of the creepy old white man sitting at the back of the Starbucks. He's going to be trying to see what you're doing online. So I'm going to
Yeah.
use Trigger Me Elmo to show you what the creepy motherfucker over there can see when you're not secure on the internet, because Elmo sends requests over the internet to get race data.
Also,
And so it
he's
should
like
have
teaching
detected
about
my face
fishing
by
and
now.
internet
I know.
scams. Like
Shut the fuck
so
up.
much
Let's
knowledge
see
in
what
this
old man
video.
ever
How
heard.
not,
So
be
here's the wireless data
aware
from
of
the last couple of
racism,
minutes.
how
Let
not
me
to
just
get caught up in
filter
phishing
that
scams,
for just HTTP.
covering all the bases.
And scroll down. Oh, would you look at that? Look, it's an application.json file. We used an application.json file in the Elmo. I wonder if it has anything to do with this. Oh, look at that. We pulled a URL from thin fucking air, which literally anyone can do on an unsecured network if they have a computer and no life. Here, look, I'll show you where it goes. I gotta restart the computer to get internet access back, so I'll just save the URL to a file. All right, we're back, we got internet, so I'll just copy paste over the URL into Firefox. Oh, would you look at that? It's the same fucking image.
NordVPN got themselves a really great sponsor.
Yeah, the
that
way
was
that he broke
super
it
cool, actually.
Yeah.
And like talk about your money going a long way, you know, because I've seen NordVPN ads across YouTube, across so many different creators. This is awesome. This is awesome.
Just more info for you guys. You know, bit of a tangent away from Trigger Me Elmo, but I like to keep you all informed.
Now let's try the same exact thing, but with NordVPN enabled. All right, start
Trigger Me
up,
almost
and you
just, like,
should
dead
notice
on
an
the side.
immediate
I know.
shift in the
I
Wireshark
know.
protocols column. It should go from TCP, UDP, and HTTP to OpenVPN, which implements AES 256 military-grade encryption. That's a lot of buzzwords, though. You don't give a shit about buzzwords. You just saw that computer. Shut the fuck. You just saw that computer rip a data packet out of thin fucking air, a packet that was never intended for it. I'm sure you just care about results, so I will show you results. Let's do the stupid Elmo thing.
This is cool. He's actually
You got
showing
my
it in
face?
action.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. Let's go over to Wireshark. Let's check out the protocols. Oh, would you look at that? It's all OpenVPN. I cannot pull shit from it. There's no data for me to read because it's all encrypted. So I'm secure whether I'm on a secure network out in public or not. And that is the terrifying but harsh reality of unsecure networks. But the good news is I can get you 77% off a 3-year plan with NordVPN if you want to start protecting your internet experience today. All you got to do is go to nordvpn.com/Michael Reeves
Trigger
and
Me
use the
Elmo.
code Michael Reeves. And I get it if you're like, I don't really use my computer to Starbucks. I just
I'm
whip out my
glad
mobile
that
phone,
Nord
browse Reddit, do
sponsored
whatever.
Michael for this video
Unfortunately,
so that he
mobile
could
phones are susceptible
create
too.
such
lot of apps
weird
are
Elmo
really
creation.
insecure and vulnerable to this. But Nord can protect your phone traffic
quite
too, so you ain't gotta
fascinating.
worry about it.
I'm curious to see what, like, if there's any more implementation that he's going to do with it.
yeah, just
I
keep in
assume
mind
there's
the old
another
guy at the
section of the
back.
video coming.
That's nordvpn.com/Michael Reeves.
Yeah.
Code Michael Reeves. All right, I'm out.
Oh, never mind. Yeah. Trigger me Elmo.
Oh, are you triggered?
A little, yeah. I mean, I think it's really fascinating that he. I mean, yeah. I guess it's an interesting. It would definitely not something you want to get hacked into, and then have spread around or. Yeah, a very interesting idea though. Like an interesting way to talk about racism in a video about tech and what tech can do. I mean, I guess we don't think about tech as a way to address our unconscious bias or racism in our world, but there may be some applications. I don't know that Trigger Me Elmo is really like the end result, but maybe a step of like, hey, this is an avenue to think about tech in a new way to solve other problems.
Yeah, I really like that you said that actually, because clearly this is Michael Reeves just coming up with a funny idea that would clearly do well on the internet and have an audience that would find it interesting and funny and
whether or not it gets demonetized.
Right. But hey, that's what NordVPN's for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's because everybody knows Elmo. Everybody knows Tickle Me Elmo. Like, everybody knows that. So the idea of taking something so innocent and turning it into something like that is where I think the humor is derived.
Oh, yeah.
But like you were saying, the actual application of and implications of what Michael is actually doing here with the technology, I think is something that a lot of people and tech companies and just anybody out there that's interested in computer science can like take a lot from. And I know there's a lot of swearing in this video and stuff, but these are the types of things that I think showing a younger audience that has an interest in computers or computer science, I think they could derive a lot from. Like this is what the future of technology. This is what the future of the world looks like, and it's at a very baseline foundational stage. But I mean,
it's arguably a tech version of what humans do naturally, which is make objectifications based on how we perceive people to look.
Right.
And I think it's interesting. I mean, I even participated in like a study where you go through and collect images and like say like based on the image and it like how you perceive a certain individual, and it's all about like identifying your unconscious bias.
Are you talking about the that test where it's assigned to keys and then
and you like click them real quick as you see. I forget
what it's actually called.
But
it's like the racial implicit bias test.
And I think like it has some interesting parallels. So as funny and joking around as this video is, like it really makes you. It made me actually like think and. I don't know. It was really cool. I think Michael Reeves is really creative and also obviously doing like tech and engineering stuff, and I think he does it in a really cool way.
In an artistic way. I mean, what he created was arguably art. So, but
it was
100%. I like you would love to see something like what Michael created come to fruition in some way, maybe through a university doing some sort of longitudinal testing. I think that the results could be incredible, honestly, for helping to reduce bias in the long run. If you introduce things like this with similar
Yeah.
applications,
Tech applied to solve this
Yes,
problem. I don't know about
yes.
specifically Trigger Me
Trigger Me Elmo, right?
But-
I'm not saying go
Yeah.
out and buy your kids Trigger Me Elmo dolls.
Tech applied to solve implicit bias, I think,
yeah.
could be really, really interesting. Thank you so much, Vivi Mark, for suggesting Mark. We really enjoyed this video. And let us know in the comments section down below what your reaction to this video was, because I feel like, you know, with everyone, different perspectives, different backgrounds, you know, people could have had widely different reactions to this video. So I'd love to know what you thought in the comment sections down below.
Yeah.
And let us know if you want us to react to any other Michael Reeves content. I think, you know, I know some of the other reactors have. We just enjoyed this video. We'd love to know any other suggestions you have in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, Michael Reeves, keep doing your thing.
We'll see you next time on
see you next
Chicago
time.
Reacts.
On Chicago Reacts, whether or not we're triggered.